Well, welcome back. We have in the studio now the president of the Nigerian Youth Coalition. You saw in that report there's a clamor for Southern Presidency come February 2023. I've been joined in the studio now by Oladotun Asan himself, the president, like I said. Welcome to the program. Good
It's a
afternoon.
pleasure to be on your program.
Welcome. It's good to have you back. Yeah. All right. Let's just expand on the conversation there. What is the rationale behind this clamor, especially amongst the youths?
Well, we are critical stakeholders as far as the nation is concerned, and our commitment towards ensuring delivery of dividend of democracy, accelerating growth of the nation, building synergy beyond borders, and ensuring that we remain actively involved in every sphere as far as the 2023 general election is concerned. And that is one of the critical core interests of the Nigerian Youth Coalition. That is the coalition of both the southern and the northern groups. And to us, you know me as the president Yoruba Council worldwide. You know how best we've been trying to ensure that we guide the process. We put forward the best candidate for the whole nation to give their maximum support for, in person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC. And we believe that in as much as we are equally campaigning for a candidate of our choice, we still need ourselves as friends, not as foes. And we still need the northern youth, despite the fact that they have their candidate. Some might have interest in the ethnic interest of aligning with Kwankwaso or Atiku, or from the southeast with Obi or whatever. So, but to us, we just believe that beyond our differences of anything, we just still need to judge, or rather than war. And for us to achieve and attain equitable dividend of democracy and delivery, we need to cross-fertilize ideas, and that is the essence of that North and South Parley, which is targeted at addressing the issue of rotational presidency as a beacon of hope and development as far as the country is concerned. Because if we don't discuss at our level now, which we advocated that one of the best measure is for us, all of us, to aggregate our interests together. Once we can be able to capture our interest and see, we know that this nation is of 6 geopolitical zones. Each zone needs to be given their preferential interest. Now the APC have brought about Asiwaju aftermath of the outgoing government of President Muhammadu Buhari. We still hope that the rotation of presidency must also go to all other region, not after Asiwaju, another southwest person will say, no, we still have another vibrant person who is also key to run. It shouldn't be. If it is leaving the southwest, let it go to another region. So this will bring about equitable fairness amongst the existing geopolitical zones and nations we have as far as the Nigerian nation is concerned.
All right. I'm sure you've said this before, but just for those who might not know, you've agreed that a southern presidency is the right thing at this moment.
Yes.
There's multiple southern candidates. We have the SDP candidate, we have the NRM candidate, we have the Labour Party candidate. Why did you end up, or why did you finally decide on this particular southern candidate?
Basically, thank God for the for who we are and how God has been able to develop and mold us within the southern region. Needless to say, we have quality heads in the south, in the north as well. But in view of the aggregation of interest, you look at capacity, you look at the capability, and you look at the existing environment, the structures, what are the need for. This is about presidential election. We believe that all other candidates of other political parties are equal to the task as well. But considering the necessity, when something becomes a necessity, then you have to aggregate all other things beyond sentiment and approach what is attainable. Asiwaju's presidency under the APC, considering the political structure and how much we need to really struggle to consolidate on succinct vision. One cardinal thing that also picked Asiwaju out is the fact that he has that foresight and certain vision of this democracy from the day they went to when they started fighting the military, when they fought the military back to the barrack. Where were all these other candidates? I don't say they did not maybe perform within those sphere, but actively involved in the struggle of delivering the democracy away from the military through Nadeco. Asiwaju, we all know how he protected the life of Wole Soyinka. The testimonials are there. His life was put at risk, his family and everything, but he saw it all. And coming into democracy, he laid some solid foundation through Lagos development. And from that point, he already forecasted the actual time is to run for an election. He had never contested presidential election all through from the aftermath of it, 2007 till date. Meaning he was using the opportunity to build and mold other leaders. Is a mentor to a lot of mentees. And you cannot dissuade that fact that he made the current vice president through his effort, the speaker of the Federal House of Reps, many northern leaders, many southern leaders. He was using those periods to build bridges. So if you can constructively and architecturally hold on for many years to ensure that, let President Buhari go first, then once it's now the turn, because not that he cannot run at that same particular period, but he had that premonition that something must be fixed regionally and then and politically. So he was able to first solve those impediments before him. And to me, and that was one of the cardinal objectives the party was able to achieve, to present Asiwaju as a national sole candidate, whereby we want to implore all other Southern candidates to rally around so that we can aggregate our interests together. We can collectively have a government of national unity. These are not time for us to make electionary rigors a dwelling point to erode war or ethnic hatred amongst ourselves or religious animosity. But we want to build that friendship beyond all the shores, to southeast, to southwest, to the north central, northeast, to every region, that we can have a president with the collegiate of all other leaders across the country to letting us take Nigeria first and ensuring that we aggregate those facts, our experience, our visions together towards ensuring that the future of this country is protected and guaranteed. And the only person that can deliver that is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, without mincing words.
All right. When you start the argument or the advocacy, so to speak, is about, that balancing of, the nation,
yes,
north and south. But some might ask, why not go further? Take, for instance, the PDP candidate, when he's asked, you're a Fulani man running to take over a position from another Fulani man after 8 years. And, some of his persons or his spokespersons will tell you that the Northeast has never had a president. When you go to some persons, they say the Southeast has never had a president, and so on and so forth. So we've had a Southwest president, immediately followed by a Southwest vice president. In the interest of that fairness, wouldn't it also be fair that it should move to another zone within the South? Is there no space for microzoning in this? Well, this need to balance things.
Let me open your mind towards this view that Asiwaju's presidency is coming at the right time. It's time bound. And the fact that I told you earlier, OBJ was given to us by the military, by the cabals in the military uniform, not out of our own view of even understanding Chief Olusegun Obasanjo to be part of our democratic process within the zone before. He has spent most of his life being a military man. He's just resigning from retiring from military and was given amongst the cabals then. That means that was just more, and we knew how much we went through. even within Southwest, though he achieved one of his own his objectives too, but it can't be compared to what we are witnessing. Even in Ogun State, the comparative advantage of having a developmental mind and a visionary is different from when you have a seatite. I can just tell you without much ado, when Obasanjo was also dreaming of a third term, that nailed it was not part of the demeanor an average Southwestern man, which we are only believing to hold that symbolism of Omoluabi amongst ourselves, will hold on to with that kind of an approach. It's really a thing for us as at that period. So coming on the heels of democracy, and we are looking for a vanguard of democracy, a true Democrat par excellence that understand how much we really need to move the nation forward. The nation has suffered illicitly because people from different diverse, from different backgrounds, might not have understood the body chemistry and how best to manage the country. Ashwaju have tried it before. In Lagos alone, when he was a governor, it was Lagos is more or less a mini Nigeria, where everybody was given stake in government. So, meaning Ashwaju understand the essence of teamship, of bringing all geopolitical zones together to collectively chart a way forward. The difference is that you cannot compare the experience of Ashwaju with all other presidential candidates at this period. An experience count, capacity count. We don't have to, out of sentiment, now belabor merit. In terms of merit, Ashwaju has been able to put forward the card to all of us that yes, I can deliver, I can show the way, I can lead the way, and I can deliver. So, and he has set our time bound. Let us give him that first 4 years. Let's show, let's try, let's consolidate our democracy. It's not all about people mincing word in the media, crisscrossing endorsement here and there. No, it's about let all of us sit down and let us study how do we even get to where we are today. Who are the people that we are running to on this election on today? I don't want to go in-depthly raising some issues about some of these other presidential candidates of other extractions, so that it doesn't people don't begin to see it as the same issue we are trying to heal, that is the north-south acrimony. We need to heal those issues, but at the same time, those that are the abingers of this crisis cannot also come on board and still hold us bound. If Atiku is saying he's not a northern man, how then do they want us to have a balancing? Let us have power to the southwestern man. The person we are coming on board now is the right person that can lay that foundation. And that was one of the arithmetics we brought out, that, okay, if this is the way we are thinking, the Southern Governors Forum resolved that power must shift to the South, even governors of the PDP. It is not because they don't understand the essence of balancing regional politics, but must be from a formidable political party that has structures, that has deliverables across, that can network governance. Governance is not something that you don't have senators, you don't have House of Reps, I just want to be there, and you think, oh, once I'm there, everybody sit tight. No, you must plan everything from day one. If you are not planning from the House of Assembly to the local government chairman, to the House of Reps, to the senators, even within the executive FEC, that you must already forecast in your mind that these are the kind of FEC I want to have. Just like Ashwaju is already picking his FEC members by when giving them duty and testing their capacity. Not just they will just come from nowhere by one nominated someone somewhere, but he believes that in making the country grow, it needs to come to the fore, hold the bull by the horn, and guide the process. And the only thing we need to complement his vision, to not just because he paid his due already, by molding democracy to come to the fore. Because if we are still within the military barrack as a date, you and I cannot have this freedom to come on here. You know what is happening in Mali. You know what is happening in Somalia. But they fought the likes of the former governor of Ekiti, Kayode Fayemi, Wole Soyinka. They were all there. Leaders of thought. So if all comrades, even Atiku knows that at this point in time, as a symbol of reciprocity, gentleman agreement, that when he was given that time, that was why Tinubu told Atiku that Atiku ought to step down, because they had a whole lot they might have discussed. But for Atiku, who could not be able to meet up with the internal interest of a southern interest within the PDP, holding us to ransom by telling the whole nation, don't not vote for a Yoruba man or Igbo man. That is seditious statement. That is criminal. Because as a lawyer, if I were to judge by that standard of statement, that statement is ethnic cleansing statement. That you do not love this other race because you believe the northern people must be given that impression, and no one is born to rule. We're only given this reciprocity of respect, and that was why Tinubu mobilized the resources within Southwest, his networks across, to give Buhari the support. Buhari was never a member of the ACN, but they merged with the CPC with few governors from the PDP, and they formed the APC. That was an intellectual architecture of politics by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now it is now coming to the fore. Are you saying the hand that plows should not reap from what he's been building all this while? He has set out the period, he has set out the table for himself. That
people wonder, why doesn't he just continue as a kingmaker? Why does he have to be the king?
My brother, let me tell you, a visionary is different from just a passersby. Anybody can run for election. That is what we are witnessing here. Anybody can just bring up policy. As sweet as policies are, it's not as easy as implementing in this nation. We have developed good policy, the NIS policy, but when it comes to the rigors of implementing these policies, not too many people have that wherewithal. We have only tried it in Lagos because there have been a laid down program of development. If it had to be the reckless approach some of our politicians, rulers, not even governors, you would have had a whole mess up as far as what the pride of what we are seeing Lagos to be today, whereby you can be proud that, oh, Lagos will be producing oil in the next few months through the Dangote refinery. You have all of that development. Lagos is already marching up as a country. It's not Lagos is not in the rank of any other state. You don't rank Lagos as one of the states, but it's a privilege. I'm not saying it's not out of pride, but because somebody sat down to think out that this vision of making a reference point, a testimonial, he needed a result to show that he can still do something that will lay future foundation. He knows, he has already said it all, that this has been his long lifetime ambition. Meaning, it's not just an emergency candidate. Somebody from another political party, sorry to say, Peter Obi didn't tell us in 2015 it was to run. This is a nation that you don't just think out of your very, very serenious sleep and just wake up that you want to rule it, you want to govern the country. You must have a set out vision. We are even confused at some particular point in time. How come the vice president of the PDP in 2015 election, all of a sudden is just turning a new leaf as if it was never part of the party before? Even if you mention anything of PDP, we'll just begin to condemn the same party he was part of. I'm not saying that we don't need to give room for listening to ourselves, but give room for the best man that can do. Give room for that most experienced person that can deliver. It's not all about yoking us on religious animosity. What I can boldly tell you today, that the way campaign, Asiwaju is the only candidate that have not used religious sentiments. Even when they mentioned the Muslim ticket, I came here, I defended the fact that we need to have a Muslim Christian ticket. But when I looked at the reasoning behind it, not the reason now, the reasoning that made him make such decisions, I also need to align my thought that, oh yes, but when it comes to the way some of the candidates or other, like the way Atiku have just taken up to ethnic bigotry, that same way is what Peter Obi is doing by going to churches and making Christian folks not to believe that we are both citizens of this country.
Yeah, but the question now
making
is,
churches
right, just
the point of campaign. That is what we are trying to tell the whole world, that we don't need it, because if you go on that line that they are tolling us into now, it might be very difficult to come back out of the election.
Yeah, but these persons might, throw your words back at you and say that the choice of a Muslim ticket also made Christians feel not welcome, and that is also something that they cannot reconcile if they should win. The SDP candidate was here a few days ago, and he said that when I asked him about what do we do, because more and more this election cycle is becoming a bit polarizing. People see people taking wide stances, and there's this division
even without any reason. They just want to maintain.
So I asked him, as a presidential candidate, what would you do to bring people back? And his thought is that as you are campaigning right now, you shouldn't divide people.
Yes.
So you shouldn't say I will divide them now and then later when I win I bring them. So the question now is, if your candidate is aware of the need to balance things in terms of ethnicity, south, north, didn't he also take into consideration that perhaps on his tickets there would also be that sense of balancing that would be needed?
Let me explain things to you.
Just to add, the reason now I say this is because you said that when you looked at the reason that the reasoning, yes. When PDP members come here, they will tell you that they can't zone what they don't have. They don't have the presidency, so they can't zone it. That's why a northern man can come out. And so they say you have to get the power before you do that.
No, to me, it would be ridiculous for anybody to believe that tale of woes, that you cannot zone what you already have as a gentleman agreement. What all governors resolved on. It's about not too pessimistic about what you believe in. If the party had gone that same route, that is what we want to set as balancing the north and the south. If you don't do that now, the same foundation of discord that is happening now will come back to haunt all of us tomorrow. Because the common understanding and the way we are taking our grandstanding now will be difficult for a Muslim man to visit a Christian man in the coming years, because it has been so short line in that respect, whereby you see a lot of people campaigning with Christian banner and pointers, raining causes, even trying to go further by castigating candidate of the APC because of the Muslim ticket. We cannot solely kill the nation because of our penchant for support for a candidate of different political parties. What we are trying to drive here is that the pointer that Shetima with Asiwaju, yes, they belong to the same common family. They've come a long way within the same political party, and they have understudied the charisma, the experience. We are not just talking about just any person. This is a well-educated senator. This is a well-trained administrator. This is a well-experienced from both of them have both legislative experience and executive experience. So experiential knowledge about where you are going is very important, and who you are bringing must also fit in with the same capacity, both as a senator, both as a former governor, might be able to balance up this. We know religion is very key. We advocated for it. I can't lie, but for the fact that we wanted a nation that will be developed on the pedestal of growth without sentiment. What has Christianity or Muslim will be able to deliver on our table without give us the 3 square meter per day? When in Osun State today, the governor and the deputy governor of Adeleke, both of them are Christians. Is anybody chanting? But the whole of Muslim in Iwo and every other place voted for them because they believe in their capacity. That is what we should be having. If you are being trained with what Peter Obi is promoting now, it will come back to haunt him. If he is promoting the Igbo interest above the sentiment that, oh, we are superior. Sometimes you look at the model of campaign, is somehow tilted as a Southeast war against the Southwest.
No, but he has said himself that he shouldn't be seen as another president.
The reality is that he pointed out within one of his interviews, he showed a a phone conversation saying that one Oduduwa person is telling him not to vote. That is really sentimental to really hang on our pains to cause us more havoc by dividing us from that point. That video alone, that video Obi did then to tell the whole world that a Yoruba man said warned him or tried to put up a threat as a sentiment. We don't know the Yoruba man. He has never identified to anybody. He has never proven to us who sent the message or was there any investigation about the identity of the person. But he has played on our intelligence by telling the whole world that the Yorubas will not want the Igbo man to come. And the entire Igbos took up that statement from him first. Before you could say, Jack Robinson, go to any platform, once you begin to send anything Ashwaju, you see the first set of people that will attack you are the Igbos, which what they are laying for the benefit of the future is that they need to see beyond the sentiment of their nose now, that we have a nation. If Ashwaju can give an Igbo man the opportunity to become a commissioner of finance in Lagos, and he has also railroaded other leaders of the Southeast into bigger political portfolios at the federal government, we still believe that that kind of a mindset is what we need. Somebody will come as Peter Obi and tell us and walk into the mosques, walk into the other political parties or any other without working on that premise. Using the premise of religion, animosity is really endangering our democracy. And that is what I want the National Orientation Agency to really step in and begin to consciously advocate for unity. Because if any sting goes beyond what we are discussing, we've had civil war before. The symptoms of civil war are elements of discourse like this. And that's why on our own part, we just want to tell our Igbo brothers that we are one. Don't see me as a Yoruba man that, the Yoruba people, they are useless. No, don't have that mindset. Don't let anybody tell you because Ashwaju is a Muslim. Yes, he has a Christian pastor as a wife, meaning that is a tolerance. Not every Muslim man will even allow his wife to even go near anything called church because of the mindset. It shows how much more his developmental stride. If it were to be predicated on religion, you would have seen a lot of Muslim kiosks and every other place in Lagos, even the way he is being. But his own religious view, for the fact that he's choosing Shetima, is not because of that religious sentiment. It's because
of why did he consider a Christian?
What?
Because there definitely have to be there are a number of Christians who have similar capacity, experience, and can deliver as his victory.
Choice of your deputy. You have the sole right to choose your deputy.
So what if Peter Obi says he has the right to campaign in churches? Let me tell you.
We are not saying the church. What we are trying to argue on is that don't make this as our pointer of campaign. Ashwaju's Peter Obi's election.
But the question is, this person feel that your candidate has made Muslim tickets.
Let me tell you the danger. Let me tell you the danger. At the winning of declaration of the winner of 2023 election, that's where I'm focusing on. What will be our unifying factor? What will be our post-election healing process? Is it after we have thrown everything at our faces and people have said all that they can say all over the world? If Ashwaju wins today, do you think some of these Igbo people can be able to swallow their word? Or if anything, whatever happens that the Igbo man wins the election tomorrow, do you think it's going to still be the same face you come and face us? That will not be. It will definitely polarize us. And no united nation. I used to lean on Ambassador Segun Olushola's word. He would always tell me when he was alive, we shared the same date of birth, 18th of March. He would tell me that if Nigeria goes to war, no nation can accommodate our refugees. No matter how you might think it's easy for us to hit the 3 square meters per day, go and ask the Igbo people when they had the Biafran civil war. The little schemes of crisis and riot we already have is enough for us to reason together, not over hit the polity.
All right, so
and let us begin to reason together around.
So I just want you to end with this.
The best.
Your advice for all the candidates, including yours.
Yes.
Just like the SDP candidate said, it has to start now. We can't wait for a winner to emerge and start trying to bring people back together.
Yes.
What's your advice to all the candidates, including yours, on how to conduct themselves till the culmination of this election, so that we have a united
advice
Nigeria?
To my candidate now, as a pointer and as an advisory, is to go and expel more relationship among the Christian community. Let him make the Christian community feel at home. Go to churches, let your vice president also go, so that they don't begin to have that notion, that sentiment that's been built in that skyscraper, that this is their mindset and it's an Islamized thinking. That is what messages some pastors are teaching. And two, other candidates of other religion like Peter Obi, let him go to the mosques too in the north. Let him go and campaign in the mosques. Let him not make the altar his podium of campaign. It's dangerous, because after now we'll come back and begin a healing process that no pastor, no matter how a pastor might be. I saw Pastor Tunde Bakari yesterday, 2 days ago, being a member of the APC was part of the process. Going about endorsing Peter Obi, yes, that is his choice, but the model, the process he went about it is wrong. It's even a sinful demonstration. It's ungodly. If anybody tell me that, no, it's ungodly, totally ungodly. So, in as much as he has prided himself to have gone that same way, what they are trying to preach from the altar is using the altar as a sentiment point of building another new order. And that new order will not help us. What we need now is that all leaders of thought, both Christian, Muslim, even traditionalists, I'm saying emphatically, traditionalists also have say in the build-up of the 2023 election. In Ile-Ife today, I'm the traditional legal secretary to the Obatala Agbaye Temple, and that is the apex spiritual traditional institution in the southwest. So what will be their role? So if everybody's voices are put on the same table, either religion should not be the pointer of our discourse, but how do we chart a way forward? The light of Peter Obi article should reduce this opinion that is being molded there. Like the opinion the articles are playing in the north now is that anything Igbo, anything Yoruba is an alarm. That is very devilish. And that's why I say these all parameters are criminal in nature, because these are seditious offenses. These are offenses that is capable of inciting hatred. And in law, that is seditious. So for us, we need to be very, very critical that in as much I've understood this Asiwaju model of campaign, it has not come about abusing Igbo mind, yet he's even trying to caution the other candidates that let us come together and disabuse people's opinion on the ethnicity, because we are all Nigerians.
All right, Barrister Oladutunsan, thank you very much. We've run out of time now. But you made a plea there that I hope is taken seriously. And thank you for coming and preaching peace. I do hope all candidates, including yours, takes a note from this and, tries to bring the country together now before their victory. Thanks for coming once again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
We hope to have you back sometimes when there are still some other issues that need some touches, but we'll definitely see you back sometime.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, that's all we can take on the Polity today. Do join us tomorrow for more discussions on politics and governance and on the state of the nation. Have a nice day, and do go out there and get your PVC if you've not done that already. I'm Amadou Noberi. See you tomorrow.